It's 9 minutes before 8. We'll talk travel with you, Roy, in just a moment. But let's come to other matters. And the idea of levelling up is one of the mantras put forward by the Prime Minister, which clearly served the Conservatives very well and continued to in the recent Hartlepool by-election. But now we get a little bit more idea of what it's about, and considerable amount of funds as well. £860 million now with some new initiatives, which will result in better high streets, more public sector jobs outside of London, and what are called stronger schools. Apprenticeship and Skills Minister Gillian joins me now. Minister, good morning. What are stronger schools?
Good or outstanding. So when we came to power in 2010, I think 68% of schools were good or outstanding. Now they're 86%. But we want to get to the next, to the last ones really, to try and get every school to be good or outstanding.
So more money definitely equals a better school?
Not necessarily. Better leadership and better and investment in teaching.
So how will it be spent
really
then?
Defines it. Well, the multi-academy trusts is a model that we've gone down, which has basically led to much better results. So it will be invested in leadership and teaching.
So how will we know if this £860 million is well spent?
Well, a lot of that is actually the investment in the towns and the high streets as well. So you'll be able to physically see that. Then, of course, you've got, if you get the option to go to a good or outstanding school as well. Okay. So that's how you'll know if it's better spent. But that's also on top of the £2.5 billion in skills, which we also announced in the Queen's speech, which is access to adults to reskill the lifetime skills guarantee.
But what's a better high street, Minister?
Something that looks good. So,
very few do at the moment. I don't know what it's like in Chichester, but unfortunately, as you'll be aware, a lot of shops have fallen victim to COVID, Minister.
And that's really why we're doing this, because there was already pressure on the high street, but there's definitely that's accelerated. And, there's certainly for some of the department stores. So, yeah, we had a big House of Fraser in Chichester. That's now no longer a House of Fraser, and it's at the moment it's empty. So everywhere across the country there is this disruption to the way we shop, and there are spaces in our high street, and we want to be able to use those better, use them for living, bring more living entertainment. There's some of the ideas are theatres, cinemas, etc., to really get the community and the economy going in some of these places.
Why would someone open a theatre or build a theatre at the moment? You can't open it.
Well, it takes a while to build a theatre, but, Chichester has a fantastic theatre, and when it's open, which it will be hopefully very soon, it is at the moment actually open, but obviously some restrictions in terms of how many people can go. But, it's a great thing. It brings in a lot of tourism, and, it's brilliant.
So the answer for high streets is more theatres and cinemas?
No, one of the ideas that's come forward, these are all bids that high streets will come forward with. Some of them are residential, some of them are community places, some of them are entertainment, and theatres and cinema are on the list as well, yeah.
All right. Just a couple of other matters while I have the benefit of you on the line. Can the good folk of Chichester, can my listeners go abroad this summer? Yes or no?
There's 12 countries right now on the green list that you can go abroad to.
What about amber countries?
Amber countries, you can go only, there are restrictions that it's only if you've got business or a funeral or something like that to attend to, not holiday and pleasure travel. Obviously, I think many people are hoping that as we get to the next stage of the unlocking, 21st of June, I think people are hoping that there'll be more countries on the green list. But right now, there's only 12 on the green list, and they're the only ones you can go on holiday to.
Talking about coloured lists, you've banned flights from most red list countries, but the government's not banned flights from India. Why?
Well, we haven't, banned flights. We've banned people coming in, from those countries if you're not resident. But there are people who are resident here, who have a right to residency, who want to get home. And, if you're coming from India or a red list country, you can only come if you have a right to residency. So either, you've got a right to be here. You have to have a negative test before you depart. You have to have a test on day 2, a test on day 8, and you have to quarantine for 10 days in a hotel whilst all that's happening. So they're the rules if you're coming. But there are people coming back here. We haven't banned British citizens coming back home. But
you'll have seen photographs at airports where people coming back from India are very, very close while they queue. People coming back from a green list country such as Portugal. Why is there not some form of delineation or different queuing systems?
Well, there's social distancing, or there should be social distancing, in the airport.
But there's not, is there?
you
People
know-
are queuing. You'll have seen the pictures.
Well, we've all been queuing with social distances. A queue with a social distance means there's 2 metres apart from the person in front of you. And, the airport's aren't exactly, completely full right now. So, there is enough space to do that. So we would urge people, it's our personal responsibility as well to socially distance whilst we're queuing.
Right, you don't see a problem, someone arriving from India queuing directly behind or in front of someone who's just come in from Portugal. You'd see no problem there whatsoever.
Look, everybody who has gone to
Well, no,
that
I don't know,
airport has
actually.
had to have a negative test, right? Everyone to fly into this country before you get on the plane's had a negative test. Everybody, once they arrive, has got a test on day 2 and day 8. The person coming from Portugal also could have coronavirus, of course. We've taken
But
as
this
much
is a
precaution
shambles,
as
isn't it?
possible.
Nobody quite... I mean, how are my listeners meant to book a summer holiday?
They are meant to book only to the 12 countries on the green list.
From when can that change?
The next unlocking, in terms of the next part of the roadmap, is the 21st of June. So we'll know probably a week or two before then. There'll be some more insights.
How many people do you know who want to go on holiday to the Falkland Islands?
Nobody, and
Precisely,
it's actually
so-
quite a long way to get there as well. I think you have to take a few flights.
I
to
understand
get
it's pretty bleak when you get there. So
I
also-
wouldn't say that, but
No,
I'm sure it's fascinating.
the landscape is pretty bleak. The landscape, I understand, is not necessarily that welcoming. So how are people meant? They've got. I mean, what are you? Without being too personal, what are your plans?
Well, no, I am hoping to go to Spain. I lived in Spain for 8 years. I have a house there that's probably full of flies right now, but I am hoping to go to Spain, but, at the end of August. So I think, like many people, we're all hoping that a few more countries will come onto the list. But if it's not, if it's not on the green list, I won't go. The cost, the aggravation of all the tests is also, I think, off-putting for,
And if
for a lot
you
of
were
people.
told that your villa or your part, sorry, I didn't say whatever it might be, was actually full of Spanish fly, are you allowed to go and check on your property for valid reasons such as that?
No, I don't think so. I think if you rent it out and it's a business and you go for business reasons, you could. But as I don't do that, I couldn't.
All right. Can we talk about the business of students, but noting, of course, that you've served as an education minister as well? Some universities are looking to continue Zoom lectures into the autumn term. This is, of course, as students pay north of £9,000 for the privilege. How fair is that in your view, Minister?
Well, I think the most important, obviously everybody's had to adapt very quickly to the new norm as it has been for the last year. So I think the most important thing is that it's a high quality lecture, live lecture. It's an engaging lecture. I think most students are hoping that, actually they can go back face to face from May the 17th, from this week, they can go back face to face. So
Yes.
from a government perspective, students can now go back face to face.
But a number of universities, St Andrews, LSE, University College London, are looking as of the autumn term to continue to blend in Zoom lectures. Why should these people be paying more than £9,000 for this?
Well, I think there will be some element of the blended lecture that will probably
fair?
continue. I think there's, some of the lectures, the blended lectures, I was looking at one the other day with FE colleges, they can get speakers from abroad that they would never normally get. They can get, access to a broad range of, very high quality lectures, which are made easier from being online. So I think there will be some element of blended that will probably benefit people. But of course, as well as the lecture, which is the learning, you want the whole experience of the university as well. And that's why we were very keen to get students back on campus. And that's why from Monday this week, we're delighted that they can all go back on campus.
Last couple of things. Are you sorry to see Boris's nurse go back to New Zealand?
Yes, I am. But, I think there's a lot of nurses from New Zealand here. There's a lot of nurses from many countries here. Nursing is one of those fantastic professions that, is very transferable. There's a global shortage of nurses, which is why we're delighted that many, many more actually have rushed forward to be trained at the moment. And we've obviously got new nursing schools opening.
Yes. She's off in part because of what she calls a derisory pay rise of just 1%. We're not getting the respect and pay we deserve, says Jenny McGee.
Well, they certainly get the respect. The difficulty
But they
with
don't get
nurses'
the pay,
pay
do
right
they,
now.
Minister?
We have obviously increased the starting salaries by about 12%. But the difficulty with the nurses' pay is, they're priceless. Actually, there's virtually nothing you can pay them that would repay them enough for what they have done for us this year.
If they're that valuable, why
the
just
average,
give them a 1% pay rise?
Well, that's on. If you look, you look on. It's on the bands that is. So basically, you increase within the bands and then you go up the bands. So it's the 1% is on the actual pay bands. But as I say, there's almost nothing you could pay our nurses that would repay them for what they have done for us this year.
What is this?
The average is £34,000.
All right, well done. Just lastly, noting that in your past experience you've also been working with a former Home Secretary, how concerned are you by what appears to be a Scotland Yard investigation into one officer who decided to start chanting pro-Palestinian messages at a demonstration last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, all these things are concerning. But, I'm sure the police will look into, the rise of anti-Semitism, the rise of some of these things on our streets are all concerning. But, I have every faith in the police that they will take the right actions.
You don't think they've become a little too political, taking the knee in the past, now taking part in a pro-Palestinian demonstration?
I think we've all become a bit more political, actually. Probably since Brexit, we've all become a bit more political. But, people have a right to their political views and their personal views.
But not in uniform, surely?
Well, I mean, we're all people, but of course they shouldn't be chanting, pro-Palestinian or anything anti-Semitic. I don't know what the accusation is, but clearly, you've got to be careful about what you do when you're in your professional life.
Thanks for your time this morning. Apprenticeship and Skills Minister Gillian Keegan appearing here on LBC, where the time is 2 minutes after 8. News is next.